Good morning. SNCO Besh, good to see you. Susan D, 1961. So glad you're here. Catherine Roeder, so glad that you're here. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Getting ready to rock and roll on the Monday Mindset Movement. Yeah. Good to see y'all this morning. All right, we're getting ready to rock and roll. Hey y'all, happy Monday. Let's get ready to jam. Let's talk about our Monday affirmation, and let's start with this. Today is my best day. Yeah, today I will win. Come on. Today I fully embrace my God-given gifts, and today I courageously step on my fears. Oh yeah. Yeah, today I make an impact and I operate without hesitation. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Speaking of going, are you just go, go, go all the time? Okay, maybe you stop to look back, or maybe you're always looking back. But how do you do this? How do you do this? Would you do this with a celebratory eye or with a critical eye? Sometimes the only time that some of us stop is at the end of the year when we're thinking about our new year, new me. Let's talk about that today. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me, the Monday Mindset Movement. 15 to 30 minutes of motivation, elevation, and inspiration designed to get you thinking, blinking, rock and rolling through your week. Thank you all for showing up today on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch this morning. So glad you're here. Hey, TL Speaks, Terry Lee. Good to see you this morning. To see this show today and recent episodes, head on over to MondayMindsetMovement.com. And do me a favor, if you want to get down with the crew, text live to 240-557-8679 so that you know when we're live. All right. So glad that you all are here today. Let's see who's in the space. Mark Chambers, what's going on? Crystal tells jokes. I love it. You are here with us today. I like it. Good deal. TL Speaks, Catherine Roeder. So glad you're here. Susan D. So glad you're here. Listen, let's jump on into the episode today. Come on.
Get motivated, elevated, and accelerated. It's your time to jump out of your comfort zone and reach higher. It's time to get up and go. Grab your cup of grit and your daily dose of resilience. It's time for the Monday Mindset Movement with your host, Robert Kennedy III, RK3. It's time.
Yes, it's Monday. Hey, my friends, I'm so glad that you joined the movement. Yes, the Monday Mindset Movement. Do me a favor. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Where are you tuning in from? Beautiful Baltimore, magnificent Maryland. Where are you tuning in from? Wonderful Washington, D.C. Where are you tuning in from? Fantastic Florida. I see you, Mark Chambers. Excellent. So glad that you're here. All right. Gorgeous Georgia, somebody says. I like it. Hey, I see you. Terrific Tennessee. Oh, yeah, I see you. I see you. All right. All right. Yeah, I like it. People are coming up with some adjectives. I like it. I like it. The kitchen. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Crystal. All right. I like it. So, hey, everybody, we're here. How do you start your week? With a sigh, or are you riding high? That's why this show exists, to get you pumped up for the week. And before we jump in, I want to share with you something special. If you are looking for a space to supercharge your business growth using public speaking and storytelling, we're launching soon the Story to Sales Mastermind. It's about learning how to leverage your voice to amplify what you're already building and doing it with others. So if you want to learn more, go to story2salesmastermind.com, fill out our interest form, and we promise you're going to get some information very shortly. Oh, I hope you're fired up because the champions arise at dawn. Yes, 7 o'clock, our new time. Let's dive in. So here's the deal. I'm not a fan of long distance driving. Yeah, I'm not a fan of long distance driving. I'm a sprinter. I've always been a sprinter. As a child, I liked the 100 or the 200 meter races, but I hated the mile, right? I hated the mile. Nope. Give me the short, quick race and then let me do something else. Maybe it's just me, right? That mindset, just doing the short, quick race, that's permeated my life for better or worse. You know, we'll see. It's a struggle for me to do the long, hard, boring thing. with driving, right? When I was younger, even when I had to drive a long distance, the goal wasn't just to get there. The goal was to see how fast I could get there and could I beat the last time, right? So when I lived in the state of Massachusetts, I grew up in New York City and I was living in Massachusetts for school and I would drive from Massachusetts back home. And my goal was to see if we could cover that 190 miles, nearly 200 miles in less than 2 hours. Yes. Okay, that was a long time ago, right? Could I beat the last time? I'm built for speed. That's what I've always done. So now when I go to see my daughter in Alabama and there's an 11 to 12 hour drive back to Maryland, I don't look forward to it. Like, I'm not like, yay, we get to drive. No, I don't want to drive. I take the plane when I can, but sometimes we have to drive. And there are moments in the trip where I feel like we've been driving for hours upon hours upon hours. And I look up and realize that we're not even halfway on the trip yet. Sometimes we're even 9 hours in and we only have 2+ hours to go. And I still feel like, we still have another 2 hours. Am I the only one? Is it just me? Is there anybody that just loves long distance driving? Maybe there's some people in the world that are like that. I'm not one of them. I don't like long distance trips. Yes, this is me complaining. Right. So another story. Do you remember in PE the activity? I got an eyelash in my eye here. All right. Do you remember the activity in PE when you had to climb the rope and hit the bell? No, not just me. Am I that old? Am I the climb the rope and hit the bell old? Okay. All right. Anyway, I remember having to do this. I remember the first time our gym teacher, Mr. Marcelino, Mars. Yeah, how you doing, dude? Glad if you're here today. I remember having to do this and being able to do it pretty quickly. Right? And when you do life fast, it can seem pretty easy, right? Especially when you're young. But I remember some years ago, probably in my 40s. Yes, I was in my 40s. I was in my 40s. And I was trying to do the rope activity again. But now, instead, I couldn't do it as quickly. And I was pulling, y'all. I was huffing, puffing, and pulling up this rope for a long time, and my arms were giving out. But then I had this moment where I paused on the rope and looked down. Terry says, I remember being scared of heights. Yep, Mark says, thank you, Mark. I'm not alone on the rope experience, right? And so I'm climbing up this rope and I'm pulling and I'm tugging. And I had this moment where I paused and I looked down. And at that moment, I realized something awesome and amazing. I realized that I'd covered much more distance than I had left to go. I covered more distance than I had thought in my mind. You see, I'd been climbing all this time and it felt like I was going super slow. And I didn't feel like I'd done that much. But as I looked down, I realized I had done much more than I had thought, or much more than it actually felt like. And this is what keeps me going on my trips, right? When I look back after a little while, I realize that I've covered quite a bit of distance, and completing the trip is possible. This is what we want to do in our lives, right? This is what we call reflection. This is reflection. And that's the point of today's episode, right? The point is we've all got to take time out to reflect. But I also want to point out how to reflect. Because sometimes we can stop to reflect and we can beat ourselves up. We can beat ourselves up during that moment where we stop and look back. We can complain about the trip and how we'd rather really be in our bed. Right? Why not do this anyway? Or we still have so far to go. Oh my gosh, right? I have done that, and I hope I'm not I was going to say I hope I'm not the only one, but I'm not necessarily looking for you to join me in my misery. Right? I've had moments where I've looked and said, oh my gosh, we've got so far to go. I'd rather be sleeping. I don't want to do this. But I want you to think about it this way. Imagine going on a journey with luggage, right? You got luggage. You got some big suitcases, one in each hand. And as you go on this journey, you periodically run into someone who you know, and they hand you another piece of luggage saying, hey, can you take this to my friend who's going to be at the place that you're going? And at every stop, you see someone and they give you more luggage. Pretty soon, you'll be bogged down with heavy luggage, or with a lot of luggage, so much that you can't even hold it with your hands anymore, and the journey will be heavy. Now, replace that person you know with you. Replace that person you know with you. All along the way, every time you stop, you take up a rock and you put it on your back. And you keep doing this. Every stop that you come to, you pick up a rock and you put it on your back. Every time you stop, you find a big boulder and you put it on your back. You lift it, and pretty soon you've got boulders on your back. You got boulders and rocks in your hands, and then you still have the suitcases and the luggage that you initially left with. You still have the baggage that you left the initial stop with. This is what complaining is like. Continually putting rocks on your back and expecting the journey to get easier. This is what it's like when you stop and you decide that you're going to complain or gossip or gripe or talk about what everybody else has, or look at the Instagram feed or the TikTok feed and see what everybody else is doing that you're not doing, and then getting down on each other. This is what complaining is like. It's putting rocks on your back and expecting the journey to get easier. So instead, I have what I call celebration moments. Every week, I write down what are 5 things that happened the week prior that I can celebrate. See, there's at least 7 days in the week. 5 of those, we call those work days. And if there's 5 work days, I can find at least 5 things. When I'm reflecting, when I'm looking back, I'm not just looking back to see what I need to fix or what went wrong. I'm looking for 5 things that happened that I can celebrate. Notice that I didn't say 5 things that are worth celebrating. You see, you got to choose to celebrate as you reflect. You got to choose to celebrate as you reflect. When you reflect, when you stop to look back, the purpose is twofold. One is to reinforce that you're not where you were, right? One is to reinforce that you've had some progress, you've taken a step forward. And two is to celebrate the success that you have achieved, which then motivates you towards future and further success. There's an author by the name of Stephen Guys, and in his book, How to Be an Imperfectionist, he writes, "We make the grave error of redefining partial success as failure." If we're not there yet, if we haven't accomplished the final goal yet, if we haven't done everything that we set out to do yet, often we redefine that or we define that as failure. And many of us fall into the complaint lane because we haven't completed the journey yet. But complaint lane is the slow lane. It's the one with the potholes and the traffic and the traps that you can't see. It's like a mirage, right? You're looking forward and you don't see anything. It looks bright and shiny up ahead. But bang, you fall into a pothole. Bang, you bump into somebody in front of you or a car in front of you or a vehicle in front of you. Bang, something happens because you're spending the time complaining. You're piling those rocks on your shoulders. Complaint lane is the slow lane when Celebration Street is the one with the hills, but it's the one that's filled with joy. What are you doing? How are you reflecting? When you stop to look back, are you looking for the moments to complain? Are you looking for what went wrong? Are you looking for what was broken? Are you looking for who wronged you? Are you looking for who deserves something versus you, or who did something or got something that didn't deserve it versus what are you doing? How are you reflecting? How are you spending your time? Are you spending it putting rocks on your back, or are you spending it celebrating? Are you celebrating, or are you spending it getting stronger? So again, every week, when I take a stop, when I take a moment to reflect, I find 5 things that happened that I can celebrate. And quite often they're simple things. Yes, I worked out 5 days this week instead of 3. Celebration. Yes, 2 of those days I drank more water than I had previously. Celebration. Yes, I called 20 people I made 20 sales calls this week. Celebration. 18 of them went to voicemail, but I got in touch with 2. Celebration. Right? What are you celebrating? Yes. My child did not complain this week. Celebration. I didn't have to buy 2 tanks of gas this week. Celebration. I'm that much closer to my electric vehicle. Celebration. What are you celebrating? What are you choosing to celebrate? Again, notice that I'm not asking or saying what is worth celebrating. I'm asking you, what are you choosing to celebrate as you reflect? As we do every week, here's some homework. I want you to take this on. Today, you can even do it right after the show. I want you to take 5 minutes to reflect on last week and write down 5 moments that you can celebrate. Don't overthink it. Take 5 minutes to reflect on last week and write down 5 moments you can celebrate. Do it quickly. And as a matter of fact, the quicker that you can do this, the less time that you have to overthink. Think about simple things that you can celebrate. Once you do that, I want you to put it on your calendar. I want you to put it on your calendar to do it again next week. And I want to hear about it. So I want you to put it on your calendar to come back to this video and share at least one or two of your celebration moments in the comments. All right. Can we agree to that? I see you, Clustine. Reflection is so necessary more often than we do. Great illustration. Thank you. Yep. All right. Terry, TL, can I get you to commit to that? Mark, Dr. Lorenda, so good to see you. Can I get you to commit to that? Okay. Edlin, can I get you to commit to that? Crystal, can I get you to commit to that? Catherine, can I get you to commit to that? Jayana, can I get you to commit to that? Take 5 minutes to reflect and write down 5 celebration moments, then come back to the comments and post at least one of your celebration moments. That's it for this week, everybody. To know when we are live next, text LIVE to 240-557-8679. Text live to 240-557-8679, and I'll get you the link for the show. Remember, the Storytelling and Selling podcast, we're on at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on, text podcast to 240-557-8679, and we'll let you know what time or that the show is live. All right. I want to end today with this. Stephen Guys, in another book, Many Habits, says success is nothing more than the repeated pursuit of small steps. I love this. And I will add that as you continue to make those small steps, take a moment to reflect and celebrate the steps. Because while you may not be where you want to be, you're certainly not where you were. It's Monday, and we want to shift your mindset to a place of growth, but it doesn't just start and stop on Monday. We want to encourage you to take your Monday mindset into tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And I want you to be curious. Make a choice. Move. Start a movement. Be a movement. Join me next week, Monday, for the Monday Mindset Movement. 7 a.m. on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Yes, we'll be here. I'll be here. Will you be here? Until then, be amazing, my friends. I'll see you.